Coming to you from the great state of Wisconsin, this is a CS27 Studios production. You're listening to the Binary Brothers Podcast featuring Ryan and Clay. It's time now to open your ears and prepare your mind because life's too short to be constrained in black and white. So without further ado, here are your hosts, Ryan and Clay.
Hello, and welcome to the Binary Brothers Podcast. We're here on episode 3. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Ryan, and with me is Clay.
Hello.
So, here we are, episode 3. We're new at this. Here to get going here, and hopefully you guys enjoy.
That is the goal.
Right. Otherwise, we're not trying to make something here that no one can enjoy. We're trying to make something that most people could enjoy.
I think most of the people who would listen to us would enjoy.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Our target audience.
Who are they exactly?
We don't know yet. We're only 3 episodes in, or we're not even 3 episodes in. This is the 3rd episode.
We're 2.1 episodes in so far.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the math.
I'm not. That was a guesstimate. No
Yes.
one judge me for my terrible math there.
No. I certainly won't judge you.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Well, I'm a nice guy, so that's
Right,
just
so-
what I do.
So yeah, let's kind of get warmed up here a little bit. I mean, we have a couple things that we kind of do at the start of every episode to kind of get you into our minds, see how we're feeling, and just give you our general mood for the night and for the episode before we get into our main topic.
What is our main topic?
Our main topic is traffic and road rage in general. I mean, it
should be kind of fun to talk about.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, it's starting to get to be that point where, traffic gets a little bit more frustrating. So,
Oh yeah, especially with the winter weather.
oh yeah, we'll have some things to say about it.
Oh, for sure.
But I mean, to start, we kind of like to start out with a section called Your Current Jam. So it's just kind of what we're listening to right now, what you're feeling. So Clay, what's your current jam right now?
I had something in mind before today started, and then on my commute into work, and there was a traffic jam. It was kind of raging a little bit, but one of the radio stations that I kind of go back and forth to, because there's no real solid radio station, especially in the morning.
Have we mentioned that radio? Just regular radio is just kind of awful.
I feel like we did in our inaugural episode.
In episode 1, way back then in episode 1.
Our original listeners will know it. Those of you who are just joining us for the first time, welcome.
Welcome.
We appreciate you just as much.
Please stick around.
Yes. Our love is equal amongst all our listeners. But
Is that a poke at the vote that happened today?
So I guess we should probably talk a little bit about that because, I mean, our second episode talked about net neutrality and the vote was today. So if you're listening, you can probably guess when we recorded this episode.
It's historic. You could match it up with historic events.
There are news articles. There is reporting. It has been recorded through history. But anyhow, the government decided to or voted to repeal the net neutrality laws that were put into effect in 2015.
Yep. That happened today. We everything was classified under Title II, which made it people kind of like entitled to a certain level of service and getting their internet a certain way, and it was kind of to protect the consumer in a lot of people's opinions. And
yeah, basically treated it like a utility, such as your water and your electricity and stuff like that.
Right.
Which, with the way the internet is nowadays, it basically is a utility.
Right. So yeah, we talked about that in episode 2.
Yeah, we did a whole episode on it. We're not going to do it again.
Yeah, the vote went through today, and as we predicted, and as a lot of people predicted, it got overturned. So
yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that the government just, or the people in charge of voting, the people who could vote, didn't really care about the public opinion. So it was kind of like almost a foregone conclusion, really.
right.
But
Well, yeah, we'll leave that for episode 2, and I'm sure it'll come up, other times. But let's bring it back around to
Yeah,
your
I
current
mean-
jam. You're on your way in.
I'm on my way in. And yeah, I feel like it was important to at least kind of touch back on, give a follow up
Oh, yeah.
to our second episode there. But yeah, so I'm on my way in, flipping through the radio stations, and there's this one station I can't remember because it's the morning. I haven't had my morning tea and caffeine and whatever. Still groggy, but they started talking about Star Wars. And by the time you're listening to this episode, the new Star Wars movie will be out in theaters.
Oh yeah, it's coming out.
So they're talking about it, and then all of a sudden they share this a cappella version of the main theme, the main
No
Star
way.
Wars theme. And basically right then and there, I'm like, well, I guess that's what I'm listening to all day. And it basically was. I just found a Spotify playlist and just jammed out to Star Wars music the entire day. And that
That's
was
amazing.
basically my current jam. It wasn't supposed to be, but it happened.
Hey, you can't help what you like,
Yeah.
It's funny you say that, because someone at work the other day said that there was a playlist. I think it was on Spotify, but there was a playlist that was all of the music from all of the numbered Star Wars movies. So not including like your Rogue One.
Yeah, so all the main storyline movies.
Right. And so he said that I'm pretty sure that it was the perfect work day, just about, because it was about like 8 hours worth of music.
Yeah.
So that's funny that you say that's your jam, because I'm pretty sure people at work are listening to just everything Star Wars.
I mean, it's such iconic music.
Oh yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if someone were to have played it just over the speakers at work or anything.
No, I mean,
So-
you think of movies that just have such high quality, music or theme or whatever, that you can't really understate how important that is to a movie.
Well, yeah. I mean, in even the absence of that, like, a little trivia fact here, I guess, is for the movie Castaway.
Yeah, with Tom Hanks.
Yeah, they purposely didn't do any music the entire time he was stranded, and they did that on purpose. Like that tells you how important music and the scoring of stuff is, because even without realizing it, you feel his isolation and all that through the fact that there's not stuff. And going back after hearing that and realizing it and seeing towards the end of the movie when he's back to civilization and there's
Whoa,
actually...
spoiler alert.
Oh no! Oh, I've ruined it. Sorry, spoiler. Can we go? Just edit that out.
I'll edit it out. Don't you worry.
All right, that's great. So not ruining Castaway, but there was music. Maybe not music. Then there was some music. I'll let you figure it out.
That's crazy. I never even realized that. I'll have to watch that movie again. That's
And neither did I.
Yeah.
So
you don't think about it.
right.
But yeah, another favorite kind of series of mine, Pirates of the Caribbean, just awesome soundtrack.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just iconic. Mission Impossible has that iconic tune.
There's
know,
a tune that's recognizable from that movie.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
don't
there's just
think.
songs that come on or themes that come on and you're just like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly what you get the feeling of the first time you watch a movie or any time you're watching a movie.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome that your current jam snuck up on you.
Yeah, you know what they say. Life finds a way. I'm pretty sure that applies to this situation.
I think it does. I think it applies definitely here. Other situations for sure.
Oh yeah. What about you?
Me?
What's got you pumping nowadays?
You know, I like you. I had kind of was listening to stuff, and some new music came out, and I thought, you know, these are some really good songs. Listened to them a couple times over the past week or so, and then the other day, an album came out, and I've listened to it a bunch of times, and it's an album that technically was already released, and it's Kendrick Lamar's new album.
Okay.
It's entitled "Damn."
Yeah, I've heard of it.
So that came out a little while ago, and you know there were theories. You know, everyone likes to analyze music,
Oh yeah.
and so people threw around the idea of the album "Damn" could be played in reverse,
Ooh.
and you know maybe tell a different story or have a different feel, things like that. But it could play both ways. And Kendrick Lamar in an interview, I forget with who, but he actually did confirm that the album does play really well forwards and backwards, and you know he did that on purpose. It kind of gives you a feel front to back of what did he say? He said kind of like aggression a little bit to start out, and
Forward
kind of
or wait,
forward,
forwards and backwards, or just forwards?
just forwards mostly,
Aggressively forward.
right? Always forward, always aggressively, and so yeah, he did that, and he confirmed that it plays well both ways, and you kind of get one feel forward, front to back, the way it was released originally. But he released a collector's edition of Damn that is literally just a playlist flipped. So
Like
I
in
actually-
addition to, or like a separate CD?
it's
Like
it's
what-
a separate. It was
How
a
does
separate,
that even work nowadays with streaming services?
I don't know. It was a separate digital release. It had different artwork.
Oh, so it didn't even have like the original routing.
Yeah, so it's different. It's considered its official title is Damn Collector's Edition.
Oh, I thought it would be like Nemed.
You know, he kind of did. Like I've seen it some places where they've taken the title and they put it backwards, but I don't know if it's officially listed like that.
Ah, okay.
So, but I really enjoyed the album when it came out in the first place, and when I heard that theory and he confirmed it, I made my own playlist of it backwards and listened to it. And now that he officially released it that way, I was like, awesome. I'm going to listen to this, even though I'd done it before. And I just think it's a really solid album. If you like rap, if you like Kendrick Lamar, fantastic album. I dig it.
Now that I've thought about it, now I'm a little bit confused. Do you mean, in terms of backwards, do you mean like actually playing the songs backwards, or just playing
No.
them like backwards in terms of their listing?
Backwards in terms of the listing. So
Okay,
the track
see,
listing,
I'm thinking in my head like completely flip the audio.
just take the record, spin it the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
essentially.
it's not that. They
Okay.
on like the last in the original version on the last track, he does say, "We'll put it in reverse," and it kind of seems like they play the whole album in reverse super fast. Like it probably takes 15 seconds.
Oh, okay.
So there was that, and that's probably kind of what sparked people saying, "Should the album be played in reverse?" You know. So, but yeah, no, it's just the track listing
Gotcha.
in reverse order.
I understand now.
So yeah,
Thank
plays
you for
well
the
both
clarity.
ways. You know, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to clear things up.
Clear minds.
Full hearts?
I don't know. I don't know the saying.
I don't know.
I
Can't
don't even
lose
know if
that.
it is a saying.
I think that if we make it a saying, if we can get all of our loyal fans to start saying it,
Clear minds, full hearts. Is that what
maybe.
Is that what
I'm
you
pretty
said?
sure.
Is that...
I'm pretty sure that's the Friday Night Lights like TV show theme. Like that's a saying from the show.
I never
They say-
really watched it, so it doesn't apply to me.
I never have. It just doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply.
All right.
It's our saying now.
It's so it's now ours. All right,
Clear
well,
minds, full hearts. Hashtag that.
Here we go.
Yep.
Mark it.
Done.
I mean, I think we can do that. We can get that hashtag started.
Yep. It's gonna go viral.
I'm ready. I'm ready for fame.
Yeah, I can handle it.
Yeah.
I can handle the fame. So, all right. Well, do you have anything that's kind of like pumping you up though? Like not jam wise, but in terms of like something that's going on, coming up.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited. I don't know. I think similar to you in episode 1, I'm kind of like in a spot where there's not like a kind of a lull here, but
Okay.
I'm kind of looking forward to a vacation that I'm planning on taking. I'm not going anywhere,
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
but it's just like a vacation just to, since we've moved into the house, we've been working the whole time. We've maybe had a couple days off here and there. So I'm gonna take like a week off, and I'm just gonna chill and maybe get some more stuff organized and really get settled in, take care of some stuff, hang out with the wife. So
Sure. Yeah, a little staycation never hurts.
a staycation is sometimes all you need. So I'm pretty excited about that. Just to kind of just relax, reboot, and maybe get some stuff done. So that's what's got me kind of going here. But not anything major.
No, but that's definitely something to look forward to.
Yeah. What about you, man? What's got you excited? What are you looking forward to?
Man, I'm just excited for Star Wars.
True.
Like, I don't know. Now that I listen to the music pretty much all day,
You're pumped. You're pumped for Star
I'm just
Wars.
pumped. I'm just pumped to just go into the theater, sit down, see those credits, or the opening story kind of come into view, and just hear, dun 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 dun. Yeah, that's all I need. I could leave the theater just after that sequence. I don't even have to see the rest of the movie. That's all I need. I just
opening
need that
credits.
in my life.
Dude, I mean, now that you're saying it, you're getting me excited about it. I can't wait to see it. Those credits, like everyone when they're, I follow this account on Twitter, Depressed Darth, and it's just comedy account,
Right,
with
yeah.
Darth Vader being the theme there, and he tweets out stuff all the time, and every time we know that a new Star Wars movie is coming out, he will post a picture of those credits, Photoshop with a new episode number or whatever on there, and it'll just be a countdown of how many days until then, and I get excited. It's like 378 days, and I'm still excited, And now it's now. It's
Now
tonight.
it's now. Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is, like, I don't go and see movies. I don't go to theaters. I maybe go like once a year.
Oh, really?
I don't even really see movies all that much in general. Like, if it's not on Netflix, I'm probably
You're not
not
seeing
going to
it.
watch the movie. Like, I literally just watched the first Guardians of the Galaxy the other day
Really?
because I saw the second one came onto Netflix. I'm like, I probably should watch the first one first.
Just catch up a little bit.
Yeah. So like that's how behind on movies I am.
That's pretty behind, man.
And that's not saying I don't want to see movies. I do. I just don't make the time to do it.
You just do other stuff.
Yeah. So but like the one time I do go to the theaters a year seems to be nowadays for Star Wars.
I mean, that makes sense. That's for, I don't know, like a lot of people, Star Wars is a huge draw. Like even if you're not into, all the lore or anything, or you never saw the original movies, like the fact the episodes 1 through 3 coming out kind of when we were growing up, grabbed a whole new generation of people.
Yeah.
And they're kind of doing the same thing now where, they're trying to grab another younger generation of people to bring them into the fold of Star Wars.
Well, I think nowadays it's more just since Disney owns the rights, they're just gonna pump out. They don't really. It's not quite the same as when the prequels came out because there was such a large gap between the original trilogy and then the prequel trilogy.
Yeah, I guess it hasn't relatively been that long.
No, and now and you see you saw that Disney just bought like Fox,
21st
yeah,
Century?
21st Century Fox.
Yeah.
They basically own like every single IP.
Well, yeah, there's that, and so like that one means that they can bring who is it, X-Men and Fantastic Four back in
Could be. I have no idea.
if they want to. So like Fox had the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four, and they totally blew it with the Fantastic Four movies, all of them. But now that Disney owns that and the rest of Marvel, it's like they can like you could bring in Wolverine to an Avengers movie if you wanted to. I don't know if that's comically accurate,
That sounds awful, honestly.
but like, well, it's just an option now for like a
It's an option.
You know how they
I get
force
it. Yeah.
they force sometimes like a cameo of people into a movie. But,
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so they own that now, and I guess that means that they basically own Hulu too.
Well, they own like a majority share, I think, of Hulu.
Yeah, it's
So I mean, yeah, and so they've been pulling off a bunch of their content from Netflix, and they've been looking at getting their own streaming service, whether they're building one from scratch or buying one. Well, it seems like they just kind of bought one. So
right.
so look for all of Disney's stuff to be on Hulu.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw that they were starting to pull their stuff from Netflix, I was a little bit concerned as a person who like watches movies all the time. I like to go back and revisit, some on Netflix, and a lot of good content is on Netflix, a lot of good original content. But I was afraid that they were going to pull stuff off that I would like to rewatch or put on in the background and put it on their own streaming service. And now it's like,
Yeah.
I got that. But if they were to shift over to Hulu because now they have the majority stake, I won't be too mad about it because I'm already paying for that.
Yeah, I just can't bring myself to pay for Hulu.
Yeah,
Like I used to watch I used to like Hulu when it first came out, and then they went to Netflix model, subscription service, which is fine because
Right.
I pay that for Netflix, but Hulu also has a crap ton of ads, and it just seems like they're double dipping, and I don't really like that. It's one of the reasons why I don't have cable. It's
well, it's just the same reason
just
why
annoying.
you probably don't like listening to the radio.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's why I flip through the channels all the time. I'm like, oh, we got talking heads over here. I don't want to listen to them. Oh, there's commercials over here. I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah, we stayed in a hotel recently, and we don't have cable either. So that's one of the few times that we watch cable television.
Oh yeah,
And-
I just have the Golf Channel on all the time when I'm in hotels.
Just commercials, and it's the same ones over and over again. And so, yeah, I can see what you're saying with Hulu. You can pay more to get rid of them. But like
Yeah,
you said,
I know
it's
that. I know there's that
it's-
option, but
kind of
Nah.
like you said,
I don't
give
know.
me a base plan without ads.
Yeah, like Netflix has always just kind of been without ads.
Yeah, we've been spoiled.
I guess
Maybe
if
I don't
that is
know.
considered being spoiled, I don't.
In the streaming world.
I
maybe?
want to always be spoiled then.
Well, I mean, it's like I have Google Play Music,
Oh yeah.
and that comes with YouTube Red.
Yeah.
So I don't ever see ads on YouTube. So I feel the same way when I watch YouTube on someone else's phone or something. They show me a video, I click play, and I see an ad. And I'm like, ugh, gross.
Get it out of here. Yeah, I understand. But yeah, like it's just yeah, so Disney's basically just pumping out these Star Wars movies. Actually, the next Star Wars movie coming out after this one, which is it's going to be another kind of side story, the Han Solo movie.
Yeah,
That's coming out in, I think I saw like May of next year, so it's not that far away. Where the last couple of movies have just kind of been like a yearly cycle, like every Christmas time.
yeah. And, I mean, with them opening it up with these Star Wars story series, because that's what they're.
Yeah.
That's.
I
What
mean,
they're
there's
doing
so
with it.
much. There's so much lore.
There's so much they can tell.
So many
and
stories they could do.
They can pump out 2 movies a year.
I think they pump out like 4 probably.
Well, yeah. Do you think that people would get? It would be too.
Yes,
much.
it would be too much
Right.
because I'm at that point with Marvel and superhero movies in general. I'm like sick of them, honestly.
With DC getting into the actual like movie game a little bit more and trying to compete really heavily with Marvel.
Yeah.
There's
A
lot of superhero movies.
Yeah, and I absolutely loved the Dark Knight trilogy. Like
It was fantastic.
I feel like that was like the greatest set of superhero movies ever made. And and of course it's my favorite superhero, Batman, who's not really a superhero, but you kind of get my drift though, right? The comic
He's
book
a hero. He's a hero. He doesn't have
he's a hero.
superpowers, but he's a hero. Yeah.
But yeah, like that trilogy was awesome. So I haven't watched any of the other Batmans that have come out because I'm like Batman is perfect right now for me. I don't want to ruin it.
You don't want to ruin Batman.
I don't.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck, stop it. Don't ruin it for me.
Well, wasn't there that weird thing where he was supposed to be directing the next standalone Batman movie, and then
Could be.
it was a whole thing with him where he was supposed to be like directing it, and then he's like not. I don't know. His whole thing. I don't hate him as Batman, but at the same time, you're right. The Dark Knight trilogy and Christian Bale's Batman, just fantastic.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan. It's kind of dark, gritty. I mean, that's like Batman to me.
Yeah.
Grunge, Gotham. It's like perfect. Absolutely perfect.
I love it.
But
I
yeah,
think
so
we
with all these Marvel movies, I don't know. It's just gotten to be too much, I guess. Like I never really was into the Marvel universe, so I could understand people who were maybe likes to see kind of those, rarer, not rare, but those more unknown characters.
Right.
Like
And I know people that have read the comics, or at least once Marvel movies started coming out, got more into looking up the lore and the backstory of people and all that stuff. And I know people that I've gone to see Marvel movies with, or that have seen Marvel movies and I've talked to afterwards, that know, well, this thing was a little bit off or whatever. So people like that are like super, super into it. They seem to not be worn out, but I could see how someone like you or I definitely get tired of it.
Yeah, it's not just the movies too. It's now I'm going to Star Wars. It's the women and children. I killed them all. No, but all the shows too that they're spinning off and doing. Like DC's doing it too.
I haven't
right?
seen a single one. Yeah, DC's been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I know they've been doing it, but and then Marvel kind of started doing it. Like Marvel kind of started doing it with like Netflix. They ended up getting like the Netflix original Marvel shows or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I have a buddy of mine who's really big into the Marvel universe and just loves all of it. And that's fine. It's good for him. He loves all the movies, and like I said, he's one of those people that just loves seeing all the different characters and probably won't ever get sick of them. Cool. That's fantastic. He's like basically the target audience. But I sat down and I watched one of the Daredevil episodes one day because I was over at his house, and I just thought there was just absolutely the worst acting.
What?
I don't know. Like I thought it was just absolutely terrible.
You didn't like Daredevil?
I didn't say I didn't like Daredevil.
I mean,
the one episode, the one episode I saw of that show just
not so hot.
Seemed like it was horrendous. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I don't know, man. I feel like did you watch like episode 1 of?
No, it wasn't the first. It was like I don't know, episode 3 or something. This episode.
It was this episode 3.
Well, I just jinxed this episode. This episode is gonna be terrible.
No. It's gonna be revenge.
You're right, because this isn't Daredevil.
It's not Daredevil. This is the Binary Brothers.
Nope. Right. But yeah, I don't know. Like it was the actors or just the way the writing was. I don't know what it was, but it just seemed bad.
Just didn't
gel with me. I guess. It's my opinion. My friend absolutely loved the show. Daredevil is actually his favorite Marvel superhero, so he really enjoyed it. But to me, it was just like I don't really. I could go without this.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I'm one of those people that like I really enjoyed the show, and maybe it's just maybe you just wouldn't, which is every single thing in the world. Like there's few things everyone loves. But
like Star Wars.
Like Star Wars. Everybody
No, there's people who don't like it. I don't know, like they must have been dropped on their head as a kid or something.
We went through a phase at work where we would name development branches, different funny names, and we named a few after Star Wars planets. So
are you going to want to, pull down the Alderaan branch?
What you're going to want to do is you're going to go into Munilist and check that out, which was just the most obscure planet. It's like the banking planet, and it's spelled crazy, and just people were all like, how do you even spell this?
Try doing that in command line.
There were
I don't even know how to spell this branch.
And there's like a silent N in there somewhere. It was crazy, but yeah.
It's like an Icelandic name or something.
Good times.
That's great. But yeah, so I don't know when I'm going to see Star Wars, the new movie, but it'll be at some point here.
And you're going to walk out right after the opening credits.
Yeah, probably. Hey, you know what? Maybe we should pick a day and time to see it.
Yeah, man. I'd be down to see it. My wife and I are planning on seeing it at some point, and another buddy. So
yeah, I know there are people seeing it. I think tonight people are able to see it.
Oh yeah, I wanna go see it. I'll see it multiple times.
I don't know if I'll see it multiple times.
I've just heard so many good things. Like
don't tell me. I don't want to hear anything.
I'm just saying, people
people.
The reviews, people have said it's just amazing.
But I feel like I gotta take that for granted, or not take for granted. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because I just feel like Disney's like one of those companies that just marketing machine will just push everything and say everything is awesome. Everything is awesome. Spaceship.
First try.
Good old movie references. But yeah, and then there's plenty of movies that critics or whoever will say it's like, this is absolutely terrible. I'm like, I really liked that movie.
Hey, excuse me? I really like that one.
It's actually my favorite movie.
Please don't say that.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've actively stayed away from trailers and everything, like regarding the new Star Wars movie.
I just can't.
I think. Well, I saw the original trailer, the first one that came out.
I haven't seen any of them.
Everything since then, I've just like, nope, not gonna watch it.
Yeah, I kind of stopped watching trailers.
Yeah, they kind of give away a whole lot.
They give away a lot.
Like the best parts. They usually give away the best parts.
Yeah,
especially if it's like a comedy movie.
What was it? I think it was. Speaking of DC and superhero movies, it was Batman versus Superman.
Oh. Yeah.
Someone the like final trailer for that movie, people were like, it basically gave away everything about the movie, and so someone actually on Reddit made a cut of it that was, the trailer that they should have made, which was, somehow more exciting with less content, and gave less away. So, yeah, trailers not so hot.
No.
You know what else is not so hot?
What?
Traffic.
traffic. I was kind of wondering if we were even going to get to it.
If we were just going to get to the main topic.
Our main topic is actually superhero movies.
Superhero movies, Star Wars, and
Star
Disney
Wars,
owns everything.
Nah, we're going to talk about.
We'll talk
traffic
about it
and
at least for a
stuff.
little bit here.
Got to talk about it. But yeah, we're a majority of the way through this episode already. So
I mean, we said in episode 1, our faithful listeners will remember.
that's true.
We're going to go on tangents.
Yeah. Oh, and
It's gonna happen.
we're really good at that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
That might be our forte.
I think it's why people have stuck with us through this whole run.
Probably all 3 episodes.
All 2 point whatever we are at episodes.
Yeah, 2 point. We're probably around a little over 2.5, probably maybe
Just a little-
2.6.
That tangent's not too bad then,
No,
I guess.
No, I think we're doing a swell job.
Now that we've gone on a tangent about our tangents.
Okay.
yeah, I
well,
mean-
I'll tell you what. This morning traffic, not too good.
It was a doozy.
It was a doozy. I mean, I got up kind of late anyhow.
That's always makes it just awful when you're driving in traffic that you're not used to.
Well,
Right.
right.
Different times.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that. It was like 15 minutes later than I usually leave.
That dude, 2 minutes can make all the
That's true.
difference.
I mean, that's true. But I think there was some sort of accident on like another street or highway that people kind of got off and then took the route I usually go. And so I think that just kind of slowed it down for me. Usually my route is pretty good. It usually only takes about 15 minutes to get into work.
That's
in the
not
morning.
bad.
No, it used to, before I got into my new house, it used to take, at the very least, 35 minutes.
Oh, gross. I used to have that same thing where it was like 35 minutes. And it's traffic just awful. Like I'd come up from where I was then up here, and it would just every day
Yeah,
the same spot. Just,
right.
Just
Yeah.
terrible.
And that 35 minutes, I mean, that's like absolute best case. That's like Fridays when nobody's even working because they've all taken it off. That was the best. And most of the time it was upwards of 45 to an hour each way. That's just so much time wasting.
And it like people just make it like awful. Like to one of my big pet peeves, getting into a little bit of road rage. Not that I'm a road rager, but sometimes I rage.
Raging Ryan, that's your new name. Hashtag it. Get it trending.
Here we go. That and what was the other one?
The other one was Clear Minds, Full Hearts.
Clear Minds, Full Hearts. Hashtag it.
Yep.
Raging Ryan.
Raging Ryan.
It's funny because my gamer handle is Rampage.
Ooh.
Part of it is Rampage.
Nice.
So it's like
Rampage Raging Ryan.
Rampage Raging Ryan. Hashtag it. But yeah, so I mean, like people. One of the things that always gets me is people that are in the far right lane.
Yeah,
when-
those people are the worst.
Well, so not only are they typically those far right laners.
Far righters.
Whoa. So
It was a joke.
so they'll be over there and most of the time going slower, but it never fails that when there's traffic, people tend to stay over there when they don't need to be over there, and it ruins things because people are trying to get on and no one can get in, and it's the smallest. Like, just get out of that lane. Get out if you can. Get out of there.
Right. Just move over.
Get into the. Just I don't know, because like looking at one of the cool things about self-driving cars is imagining potentially a future where all of the cars are self-driving and can somehow coordinate, right? And so that could potentially get rid of traffic jams or at least alleviate them and help traffic move a lot smoother. And I forgot when it was that I saw this, but there was a diagram or a video about someone just tapping on their brakes. The smallest of all.
And just the repercussions of that, the waves.
Yeah, it just sends there's a whole ripple wave. Just awful. And so like that same thing happens when people stay in that right lane when they don't need to be there, and other people are trying to get in, and it's like awkward. How do you merge? No one knows. Apparently,
zipper peeps. Zipper.
Yeah, that's
everything.
Imagine a zipper.
It's not that hard.
And isn't that the thing? Isn't that the thing with traffic and
it's
road
so
rage?
awful. I don't know how people don't understand.
Is that it's not that hard?
Yeah. It's a simple zipper, and I run into it like on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Just absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, I was thinking about that today. I was like, you know what? If we don't get the majority of... At first I said all the cars, but then I thought realistically, if we don't get the majority of cars to be, autonomous, self-driving. Because I understand that there's going to be people who like, to drive cars, right?
Well, I think
it's just kind of part of our culture, right? But if we could get the majority of cars, especially during traffic, rush hour traffic, if the majority of cars aren't autonomous, self-driving in our lifetime, I feel like that would be a big failure for our society.
Yeah. I mean, we hopefully have a lot of our lives left, and there's plenty of time, like with the advances that we're having in technology,
right?
And with as interested people as people are in autonomous cars, there should be no reason why we don't have a large number, the vast majority of self-driving cars, like at an accessible level.
Yeah, and I'm talking about like the main commute and everything. I'm not talking about, a Sunday, weekend, maybe joyride or something like that, or, where people maybe, want to drive their car, right, and have a little bit of fun, right?
You might want to tear it up on the back roads.
Yeah, those good old country roads. We got a lot of road coverage in this nation. It's a large nation. Take a stroll down Highway 66. Actually, I don't even know how, or Route 66, sorry. I don't even know how, like, historic that really is anymore.
Route in general, or
like Route 66 used to be. I mean, when we were growing up, Route 66, or even before we grew up, before we were born, Route 66 was kind of like the scenic route, right, through this country of ours, and the beautiful nature that it has and scenery. But I feel like nowadays, and I can't really, I don't have anything to really back this up in front of me or experience, but I feel like a lot of that route, from what I've heard, has kind of been built up a little bit, or touristy a bit. So it's not quite like the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, you probably don't get the same nostalgic feel or just historic feel as you used to. I mean, I think that happens with so much stuff, right?
Yeah, it's true.
There's so many things where, even just as people, you have an idea or some sort of nostalgia about a thing, and you realize later maybe it wasn't that great, or things just change.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see it maybe not being all that great. Like I would still love to drive down, hopefully not crowded because it's touristy, Route 66 one day.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did. Man, when was this? This was 4 years ago, probably. 4 years ago, me and a couple peeps drove 30 hours to Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
All in, all at once.
Oh my gosh. How great was that?
I mean, honestly, I would have to say it was an experience that I'm glad I did. Because, like, any sort of long distance road trip, I think is a pretty cool thing to do. Especially, like, with kind of what we said is just the amount of scenery that there is in this nation. If you can drive through there's some pretty darn cool areas to drive through.
Yeah.
Nebraska is not one of those. I can tell you that from experience.
Do you mean that Nebraska is not interesting to drive through?
All I'm saying is it's flat and windy and sucks to drive through.
Sorry
If
for all our
that
Nebraska
means it's
listeners.
not fun to drive through, then so be it.
Then sign you up. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's your vote. I've heard the same thing. So, I mean, I didn't expect a different story. I mean, like, you're right. One of those like a road trip experience, kind of like a longer trip thing, is something that I think everyone should do. I kind of did one, not quite 30 hours, but a group of us from the fraternity
Yeah.
went out, and we drove from Ripon over to Myrtle Beach, and
Yeah.
that was like,
what, 18 hours or something?
yeah, it's like 18 hours. So, and I mean, while that wasn't the most scenic or anything,
Well, you had to have passed through like the Appalachian Mountains and stuff. You got some
A little
cool
bit.
scenery there.
a little bit. So, I mean, you're like, that's what's super cool about it, and I've always wanted to drive out west, to see what that route has to offer.
Yeah, it kind of gives you that whole like adventure feeling, right?
Yeah.
Where you
Yeah,
get to
I
see
think-
all these, new places or whatever and experience things for the first time.
And even driving, north in Wisconsin sometimes,
Yeah.
getting to some places. It's just cool to go somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not something I'll do again though.
Did you run into real bad patches of just like awful traffic along the way, or did you guys take?
Now, it was pretty good. It was pretty good for us. So it was my turn to drive through Nebraska, which is why I don't like it all that
You
much.
don't. You have
I
personal
was
experience.
the one that had to drive through that. And it's like, I mean, I'm driving, it's like we did like 4-hour shifts.
Yeah.
And I got this guy driving through my street right now. I don't know if you can hear it.
I can't.
Just got the engine just revving right now.
Didn't you say there's a guy that just revs his engine
Pretty much.
every day?
I feel like it pretty much fits this episode. He knows. But yeah, so we did like 4-hour shifts, we basically did like a tank of gas, and then we'd switch drivers, and
Yeah.
it was about probably 4 hours. I mean, we had an SUV, and but it's like 8 o'clock at night. I'm driving from 8 till like 2 in the morning.
Oh, gross.
All the way-
Nighttime, boring driving.
Yeah, and here's the thing. So we're doing this. This is early spring because we're going down to Phoenix to watch some spring training baseball. And we hit Omaha, Nebraska. It's just we hit a blizzard.
Oh,
And that's at the beginning of getting into Nebraska. This was a snowstorm that had hit Colorado the night before and dumped like 13 inches.
no.
So we're basically driving through where the storm's path,
Yeah.
right? Or the places that the storm had already hit. Driving through Nebraska, just basically straight horizontally through that state. And I drive all the way through it into Colorado. And then basically right as we get into Colorado, we had to get gas and switched. But driving through Nebraska, and on the other side of the interstate, there is a semi-truck that is jackknifed
Oh no.
from the icy conditions or whatever, and just back up for miles and miles. Thankfully, that was on that side. We didn't hit anything on our side, but my God, I was so thankful that wasn't.
That you were. That was
I
going
didn't have
the
to
other
deal
way?
with that because that would have just pissed me off so much.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't have to deal with that. Now, however, when we did get into Colorado, the highway or the interstate was just so icy. Like, the person who was driving, they basically had to. We were going like 20 miles an hour down the interstate.
Yeah.
It was bad, and it's funny because we had a GPS that had like a little timer that would say how many hours until we reach our destination in Phoenix.
Right.
And everybody driving, you can say, hey, okay, we took 4 hours off this time, cool, making good time, and then at the end of that person's shift of driving through Colorado at 20 miles an hour, no time came off.
None.
Just like I felt so bad. But I'm glad they did it because I'd rather be safe,
Well, yeah, that's you want to drive slow, but that's the thing that always ends up happening when there's weather.
Yeah.
In general, which is just everyone loses their mind and no one knows how to drive in the first place. There's two ends of it, right? There's people that are being super safe, which is good in the situation you were in, where it's a legitimate blizzard.
There wasn't really any cars on the road. Like I said, this is like the middle of the night.
Yeah. Yeah, but you get like times when any amount of rain or snow or anything, you get the person that is just like, I've never driven before.
Yeah.
Which always just gets me. Or you get the opposite, which is super overconfident people.
Yeah.
I
have 4-wheel drive. It'll be fine.
No, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to
drive.
Go.
We're good.
The best idea right now.
That'll make me stop real quick.
For me to drive as close behind you as possible. Oh, okay. Thanks, guy. I'm going to move out of the way because I'm going to spin out so that you can maybe spin out later.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, that's the big thing with the winter weather starting up now, starting to see people, I should probably remember how to drive in snow now, eh?
Right. And I'll admit, I think we all go through that a little bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, well, I'm used to going this fast and being able to stop that quickly.
Yeah, you got to readjust a little bit. I agree.
Not only for me personally, because it just snowed, and it's like I needed to readjust a little bit there, but I definitely need new tires. So I'm gonna get that handled pretty soon here. But
yeah.
It's just traffic sucks.
Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what sucks. Like, so I play beer league hockey.
Yeah.
And for this season, we play the games on the weekends, and it's at a rink that's like 35 minutes away. It's basically around like where I used to live.
Right.
And so these past 2 weekends, both weekends, I've almost gotten into accidents.
Really?
That were not my fault. Or wouldn't have been my fault.
So what happened?
And now I have another game this weekend, and I'm afraid that third time might be the charm.
You better drive carefully.
I have been driving carefully.
Drive even more? Take a different route.
Yeah, I can't. You can't take a different route. There's only one route.
I can't route another way.
The first one was I'd gotten off the interstate. You take the interstate pretty much the whole way there, and then so I get off the interstate, and there's a 4-way stop sign intersection right when you get off the off ramp, and I'm sitting there. I stop, and there's 2 other cars, and both of them kind of stop a good 2 seconds at least after I stopped at the stop sign. So I start going, and I'm going straight, and the car to the right of me decides, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go.
It's my turn.
I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go straight.
I don't know the general rules.
I had to slam on my brakes so I didn't T-bone him.
What?
What an idiot. I was befuddled. It was absolutely ridiculous. The thing is, like, I don't have a dash cam, so I don't really have proof. So what if I do T-bone him?
It would just be, oh, well, this guy T-boned me, and the cop and everyone else would be like, well, yeah. the guy T-boned him. So,
And then
it's other people's stupid decisions.
yeah, and then this past weekend, I'm coming back this time from my game, and I'm driving down the highway, the interstate, and I'm doing probably about 5 miles over the speed limit.
Okay.
I mean, it's good weather. We hadn't had snow yet, really. The roads were fine, and you're going a speed that's like, screw you, speed limit. You're having some fun, but not going enough to.
But it's not outrageous.
You're not getting pulled over for that, right? It's kind of the Goldilocks zone of speeds.
It's just right.
Yep. So I'm doing that. I'm in the right lane. There's not really any cars on the road, but there's a car up ahead of me in the left lane going about 10 miles under the speed limit.
Worst. That's another one that gets me.
No, but he's in the left lane, but there's no, like I said, there's no cars around. It's like, it's not really that big of a deal.
Yeah, you're not in traffic, so it's...
Yeah, so I'm like,
It's acceptable.
I'm just going to pass you on the right. No big deal. It's fine. We're good. About 100 feet before I get to him, he decides to go into the right lane.
Well, he was trying to get out of your way.
Yeah. And do that by getting in my way.
Well, yeah, I just expected that you wanted to go fast around him.
Oh my god! And so I had to hit the brakes pretty hard, and switch over to the left, and then accelerate back up, get out of my cruise control.
Oh, messing with your vibe. You got a good steady thing going.
I mean, you want to talk about reasons to have some road rage.
Things like that. You know what gets me in the city all the time?
In the city?
What gets me is you're stopped at a red light, and there's a turn lane to your right, and someone inevitably, especially when you're like deep in the city, it's just like someone's gonna pull up next to you and they're gonna try and beat you out of the turn lane.
Yep.
Or even worse, the thing that makes me so angry, and I try and box links. I'm like, if you wreck someone's car, I just hope I'll it's irresponsible. I might take you hitting me a little bit.
The principle of the matter.
It's just like I'm going, and this person decides they're gonna try and blaze around me in the parking lane, and it's just like, you know what, dude? I'm speeding up because we're gonna see what's gonna happen. Like maybe you're gonna slam into another car, or maybe you're gonna hit me, and then you're gonna have to explain how I hit you in the left side of your car when there is no lane to be driving in over there.
That happened to me about a month ago.
Oh.
And it wasn't even in the city. It was just like kind of right by the airport here where I live, down Layton. And it's single lane, and then the other lane's like basically a parking or it's just a shoulder basically.
Right.
And I'm going. I mean, like I said, I'm going like 5 miles over again. It's not really. I'm not going slow.
Reasonable.
I'm in the right lane. Right? Or it's 2 lane, and then there's like a third kind of paved area, but that's like shoulder parking.
Right.
And so I'm in the right lane. I'm not going really slow. I'm not, in the left lane passing. But this guy just couldn't get around me in the left lane, so he decides to go into the shoulder on the right and pass me. Like, what are you doing? This annoying. People are annoying, and that's why I say if we don't have autonomous cars, the majority of them in our lifetime, we failed, because I trust those a lot more than humans driving. That's for sure.
Yeah, if we're not annoyed enough to have that be a thing. And it's funny you say trust those more than humans, because I think most of the autonomous cars that have gotten into accidents or incidents or done something weird have been because of, other people. Yeah, whether it's because they're typically very defensive drivers because they want, I'm talking about like the AI on these cars or the programs on these cars. They're super defensive. They want to protect people and life. any opportunity, so they're likely to, stop really short because they think someone's going to step in front of the car or something. So it's that sometimes could be someone's fault, but more often than not, it's, the person that's monitoring the car who still has to sit behind the wheel even though it's driving itself hits the gas when they shouldn't, or it just does something else.
Right.
And it's like, trust the programming, trust people like us that have painstakingly, tweaked this thing to death so that it does its job.
But to them, it's all magic.
To them, it's all magic.
Burn the witches.
Tiny rocks.
And that's probably a good place to stop, because we're over time, essentially.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, we spent a good chunk of time talking about superheroes and Star Wars and stuff, so we couldn't talk about our main topic all that much. There's plenty of road rage stories we could probably talk about. But...
yeah, there's a lot. But I mean, we've some solid content here. I don't think people are going to be disappointed.
I hope not. As long as they're hashtagging, clear minds, full hearts, Rampage Road Rage Ryan.
Rampage Road Rage Ryan.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll make it, man.
Yeah, so I think we're going to be doing one more episode before the year ends, the calendar year ends.
Yeah.
And that's going to be our best of 2017 episode, basically recapping the best stuff that's happened in 2017. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you look forward to that one, because I'm looking forward to that one.
I'm a little bit stoked about it.
I think that'll be a pretty fun one.
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see you guys soon, or you'll hear us soon.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll call it that.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Binary Brothers Podcast. We can't wait for you to tune in next time, but until then, make sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, and BinaryBrothersPodcast.com.